All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about Errol Spence Jr., Jaron Ennis, and something that was said by Tony Harrison, who is, I am so happy to say, back in the 154-pound division. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to be in the 154-pound division where Errol Spence Jr., according to reports, will be making his debut against Keith one-time Thurman, and he gets a warning from Tony Harrison about coming back down to fight Jaron Ennis or Terrence Crawford or anybody else in that weight division after having moved up against Keith Thurman. Now, before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, thank you to everybody that supports the channel. It has been a lot. It is so much fun talking to y'all about boxing every day. Go back and forth. Don't necessarily agree on everything, but you know what it is. We just keep talking this boxing, and we're going to see some good fights soon. But let's get into this, man. We are back, pretty much back in the 154 and 147-pound division, which is my favorite divisions in boxing. You have I believe you got the best fighters in the world in those two weight classes. Both weight classes are very, very, very deep. All the fights that you can make there, not all, many of the fights that you can make there, man, it's like, wow, these dudes can get beat. At 147, you got Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz and Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. And 154, you got Jermell, and you have Tony Harrison, you got Tim Tszyu, you got Sebastian Fundora, you got even young kids coming up in that weight class like Xander Zayas, who's over there on Top Rank. Just a weight class where there's just a lot of heat in those divisions. So very good news that we have is that Tony Harrison will be returning to action in a major, not a championship fight, but a major fight against Tim Tszyu, who was supposed to fight Jermell Charlo, but Jermell Charlo gets injured. Now, Tony Harrison was being interviewed, and he was being interviewed after the fight that took place this weekend, where his charge, Alyssa Baumgardner, he is the trainer for Alyssa Baumgardner. Now, I believe she's an undisputed champion in women's boxing. Maybe she's a 126 pounder. I need to check that. Oh man, that's funny, man. In women's boxing, I don't hardly pay attention to the weight divisions, but I know that she's a weight division down from Katie Taylor, who I do believe is the lightweight champion. But regardless, Tony Harrison, who should be considered for trainer of the year after Derek James, had some things to say about the 154-pound division. Specifically, he was talking and asked about Errol Spence Jr. and what he thinks about Errol Spence Jr. fighting at 154 pounds. What does he think he'll be able to do in that weight class now that he and Keith Thurman are reportedly going to fight each other at 154, despite Errol Spence Jr. having the belts, all the three of the four belts at 147. Now, what he said was that he thinks that Errol Spence Jr. can dominate in any weight class that he's in. Right. So he's like, yeah, man, no problems with him moving up to 154. He'll do just fine. Now, he did not say that he was looking to fight him. He looked like he was saying that, look, man, I just don't want to end my career before I get a chance to get back in Jermell Charlo. So he didn't really talk about, himself fighting Errol Spence Jr. Just said, look, man, that I really believe that Errol Spence Jr. is the type of the skill is such a good fighter that he'll be able to do that, at any weight class. But he did hit on what did he think about what he thought about Errol moving back down to 147 to fight Jaron Ennis. to fight. I suppose, Terrence Crawford, even though that fight for me is just hard to even think that that's possible to take place. And Tony Harrison repeated what Bozy Ennis had said, which was like, nah, man, once you come up to 154 pounds, man, you can't do it. You got to, once you get up to that weight class, you need to stay at that weight class. You don't need to come back down because, you get your body adjusted during that training camp, to be training over those courses of weeks and making a different weight. And then your body is going to adjust to that. And the next time you have a training camp trying to go down 7 more pounds, nah, you should not do that because your body will not react correctly. And you don't want to get in there with those young guys or those other guys in there and be a shell of yourself because, your body just didn't take well, right? Your body is a well-oiled machine, and it has a memory for sure. And if your body resists cutting your weight down like that, and then you're going to have to maybe take some different, ways to go about losing it. I did a video about this before and went through all kind of different examples of people moving up in weight and it working for them, but they move back down and it doesn't work for them. In the responses that I got to that video, people are saying, well, it's just 7 pounds. It's not like what happened with Roy Jones Jr. when Roy went up to 200 pounds and came back down to 175. That's not a 25 pound thing. This is just 7 pounds, right? Look, man, better safe than sorry. Okay. If you want to take that chance and you're wrong, not the smartest thing in the world to do. Regis Prograde is somebody that talked about that and was adamant. Like, look, man, I'm not going up to 147 pounds. I'm not fighting at 147, even for one fight to try to come back down to 140, because if my body adjusts to that, I'm used to making 140 pounds. I don't want to take the chance that I go to 147. I come back and I'm having a real hard time making weight. I weaken myself and I lose a fight at, at 140 pounds. There's another guy that, man, you may be able to argue, that his, moving up and down in weight may have affected him as well, even though it never, really messed with him as far as a knockout. But Mikey Garcia, who went up to 147 pounds to fight Errol Spence, was never the same. He's never the same after he moved up to 147 from 135, right? He went from 135 to 140, went back to 135, went up to 147, and then he went back to 140, and he was never the same. And he just wasn't the same. Now, some people are going to say, well, no, that wasn't related to the weight loss. It was related to the fact that, Errol Spence Jr., he got in with Errol Spence Jr., and he took a lot of punishment with Errol Spence Jr., which he certainly did, and they should have thrown that towel in for the beating that man was taking. But again, better safe than sorry, especially when you're getting in there with somebody like a Terrence Crawford or Virgil Ortiz or a Jaron Ennis, kids that are much younger, right? Much younger, not Terrence, obviously, but the other two are much younger, who are just as big or not bigger than him, but are still have their bodies conditioned to make that weight, are fresh, and their reflexes are fresh. Their punch resistance is as high as it's ever going to be. That may not be the smartest move and the smartest chance to take, especially when you've already done everything you need to do with that weight division, except for become undisputed. And so 154 just seems like the much smarter move if he does that. And Errol's been very clear that, look, that weight is very hard to make. It's not fun to make. It's not easy to make. So he's probably going to move up and stay up there. I know everybody pays attention to me knows what fight I want to see, the one I'm not going to get, which is the Errol Spence Jr. versus Jermell Charlo fight. But, I'm a sadist. Anyway, just wanted to give you that little bit of information. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.